Hi everyone, Grant K here for the Flame Premium Learning channel. In the previous video, you looked at combining and managing multiple Matchbox shaders in a variety of ways. Now there are tons of Matchbox shaders to try, and I won't be covering them all. But in this video, we focus on a specific Matchbox shader to tackle the common issue of offsetting your fill from its matte and vice versa. If you would like to follow along, please click the link in the YouTube description to download the media. Alternatively, if you're watching the podcast version of this video, then type the link displayed in your web browser. In this example, you are going to add a license plate to the front of a car, and use the Matchbox offsetting to try different versions of the license plate. So to start, create an action node and connect the car as the background, and the license plate and matte as media input 1. If you select the license plate fill, you will see that there are 3 options to choose from. But if you select the alpha, there is only a matte for the middle license plate. This will be enough to place the plate on the car, and then we'll offset the front from the matte. Now select the action node and press the tilde hotkey to see the action schematic. The first thing we need to do is track the movement of the car. In this case, we'll use planar tracking with a perspective grid to identify the move. If you want to know the details concerning planar tracking, please watch the other video series covering this feature. In the media list, select the background entry as the tracking source. Now in the Action Bin menu, drag out a perspective grid node. Hover over the result view and press F8 for the perspective grid object view. Align the 4 corners of the perspective grid to just beyond the front of the car. Now double-click on the perspective grid node to see its menus. Switch to the tracking menu and disable perspective data. Enable lighting and click the snap button to lock in and display the reference patterns. Click the Analyze button to perform the track. So the planar track should give us an accurate estimation of all the movement in the front of the car. Hover over the object view and press F4 for the result view. Draw a connection from the perspective grid node to the axis node. The image will align to the perspective grid and take on the tracking data. To make things easier to see, ensure the perspective grid is selected and press the H hotkey to hide it. Also, zoom the result view if necessary to have a better view of the car. All that is left to get the plate into position is to double-click on the axis node. Scale the license plate down to a realistic size and position it on the bumper. When you scrub the time bar, the license plate should be locked into position. Now double-click on the Image Object node and set the rendering to EWA plus linear. We'll worry about lighting later on, but now you're at a good point to look at the front and matte offsetting. In the previous releases of Flame Premium, if you wanted to offset a front from its matte, you would use a source node that was actually a pre-composite in action. This created certain issues that you may or may not have been aware of. Extra processing is required for source node precomposites, and this is not GPU optimized. And if you used too many source nodes, the interactivity would also be incredibly low. So for basic offsetting, we recommend that you use the new Matchbox workflow. Select the image object in the action schematic. In the Action Bin menu, switch to the Matchbox tab. Drag out the front matte offset node. This Matchbox node connects itself to the object through the diffuse texture map. So instantly you are made aware of the relationship between the nodes. The Matchbox node operates in texture space, which is part of the action pipeline. And all of this is GPU enhanced and built for performance. So double-click on the front matte offset shader in the action schematic. In the object controls, start adjusting the X position of the front media to slide the license plate. About 620 in either positive or negative will allow you to quickly try different plates. Now the front matte offset Matchbox shader can manipulate the fill and alpha of the texture in X, Y, and Z. So this should cover all the transformation functionality you might have been used to with source nodes. This is all very visual in the action schematic, as well as very quick and efficient. To finish this example off, select the diffuse map and go back to the Action bin menu. Drag out an exposure Matchbox shader. Now decrease the exposure of the texture to match the brightness of the shot. If you want, you can complete the shot with more color correction, motion blur, and a bit of grain. You can play with the material at your leisure. Now there are quite a few other scenarios where offsetting the front and matte is useful. I can think of beauty work and even motion graphics. Try it in your composites and see how it works for you. In an upcoming video, we'll look at another use case of taking a flat image and using a Matchbox shader to extract the normals. This can then be relit with a more natural reaction to light. And all of it's done in one action node. Comments, feedback, and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Flame Premium Learning channel for future videos.